Hello, Cancer, and welcome to your August forecast. I'm Nicholas Ashbaugh. It's great to see everybody. A quick reminder, you can always use my readings for sun, rising, and moon. Let's move to channeled messages. The first thing that came through in dreams was pretty nuanced and really powerful, so I'm going to do my best to break it down. The big takeaway, and I'm just going to get straight to the point, is I feel like you already made the right choice. Some of you have just gotten into a new relationship. Maybe you just started a new job. You might have signed the lease on an apartment or on a mortgage, and you're like, I'm good, this is it. And then all of a sudden, something from the sideline comes in. It could be a choice that you had considered earlier. Someone may put a doubt in your mind, whatever this is. There's something distracting on the sideline, and suddenly you're thinking, oh, should I have gone in that direction? Not necessarily, because you helped manifest whatever you just created. This person, place, or thing is committed or engaged with you. That's where the energy is. You're good. Don't get in your headspace too much. Some of you may have two things that are in front of you that you're trying to decide between. And what I saw here is that there could also be a third party, someone that you love, that put themselves out there for one of the two choices. I feel like you owe it to yourself and to that person to put a little bit more weight into that. They are actively working to create something or co-create something with you. If another option comes along and you're interested in that, you owe it to them to talk to them about it first so that they understand why you may not go in this direction. That way, loyalties are respected, friendships are maintained, and no bridges are burned. But here's the cool thing, like if you're not already getting it, I see that you're bringing multiple options. Right now we're seeing it in the present, but this is going to also bubble into the future. And as we look at the cards in a few minutes, I wouldn't be surprised if this is thematically something that is going to carry out. You're going to have more than one option now and in the future. That's a good thing, folks. The last thing, and this one is super easy for me to interpret, is that it kind of came through as like a fair weather friend, but it could also be an ex that's now interested in you because you've moved on. You found new love, you found new friendship, you found new activities. And all of a sudden, you haven't heard from them in weeks or months, you get a text out of the blue. I think you can pretty safely not engage with that energy. Likewise, for someone who ghosted you on a dating app or someone who has just not been investing in the friendship and they just came out of the blue. And again, it's because your life is headed in a good direction. Let it just be an indication that you're doing great. And let's not put too much attention into things that could have or should have been, but they weren't there when you needed them. That's the big thing that I saw in all of these. Whatever's here is what should be. Whatever's here pretty much should kind of remain there and in the past. I hope that helps. And I think it is exciting that many of you are moving on to stronger connections and better engagements, not just now, but in the future. Okay? I hope I helped you sort of see that. But really don't burn bridges and really look at the people that have your back. These are the important connections, not just for today, but for tomorrow. Let's talk about the second image that came through in dreams. I was shown a rubber band and I also heard it snap. This always connects me to Two of Pentacles energy. And it can represent anything that could kind of snap in your life. Your attention, your patience, sometimes even a muscle. We want to be careful to create balance and not overdo anything, suffice it to say. So, of course, we can look at it in face value and it can be your resources. So be mindful of time, energy, and budget and know when to say when. When you're looking at exercising or pushing yourself, don't overdo it. And if your attention or your patience is being stretched to the breaking point, take a break, step back, breathe, and really make sure that you are grounding yourself before moving forward, because one thing that's lacking in this is that sense of being on solid ground. So know your limits, and that's going to help you. Lots of energy around twos this month. Two opportunities and maybe two things in life that are already kind of tugging at you. This could also be tugging at your heartstrings. When you make the choice, when you connect with one thing and really kind of feel that sense of commitment, I feel like everything starts to get easier. Let's go ahead now, take a look at the cards and see what additional messages are coming through. And let's see if you're not bringing in what I was picking up on in the channel messages, multiple options, multiple opportunities. All right, please close your eyes and let's just clear any sort of existing thoughts that might be there. I'd like to call in your angels, spirit guides, ascended masters, as well as mine. And let's allow for your messages to be received. And again, everything coming through for the highest good. Okay, let's get started. All right, let's get started with your catalyst information here. We have the Anunnaki light codes coming through. Let's take the graphic off so we can read it. Energetic shift, new information, end of a cycle. So nicely aligned here with the card that represents you, death. And don't freak out. Death, of course, is transformation and change. Not only that, I love that this skeleton has what? A skeleton key, helping you make your way through whatever change might be coming forth. The reversal of this card means that some of the changes are going to be happening either at an inconvenient time, in an unexpected way, or simply with the element of surprise. Sometimes the best things happen when you're least expecting it. I do like here that for some of you, if you've been in a cycle that's been challenging, or if you just want to birth or create or launch something, the ends and beginnings are one and the same. That little key there represents a chance for you to say, let's open this door. We're done with this. Not only that, folks, as we take a look at your crowning card, it's connecting to this change energy here. So for many of you, your mind has just opened up to something new. You're starting to go towards that opportunity. We see, again, a chance for you to possibly launch a couple of things. So I saw all of the energy around twos. The Two of Pentacles is also about juggling. You may be asked to juggle or delegate or have a couple things in motion at once. And I think the key to success would be that teamwork, delegation, and prioritization. Knowing what the main focus should be first, then dealing with the second thing once you've finished that. You don't want to try to do them both at once. I feel like that's the challenge here. So surround yourself with good people. Know where you should be putting your energy and rolling up your sleeves. Let the other folks deal with the other stuff. Let's take this a card at a time and really get a feel for what's going on. We're going to start off with your center card, the Knight of Pentacles. I love this particular illustration because we see all of the beautiful flowers around him. He's kind of sitting there and just taking it all in. There's a very receptive and open energy. So being open, ready, and willing to receive, that's what this particular knight is gifting us. If we compare this with the traditional Knight of Pentacles, what's really cool about this is any additional effort on your part can actually end up really moving the needle forward. In other words, you get what you give. If you invest a little bit more, if you show up a little bit more, then the universe is going to help kind of like meet you halfway. So this is receptive, that feeling of being worthy and ready. But I do feel like there's a little bit of call to action with the traditional one. So there's a little bit too much passive energy in this particular illustration compared to this. So my advice is don't be afraid to speak up, to be assertive, and to really be willing and ready to meet someone halfway. It should pay off. Now, crossing this card, we have the Six of Pentacles. I talked about relationships being key. This is a very sort of amorous Six of Pentacles. This is showing you that someone in your life could be bringing balance, could be helping you figure out what matters most. And that's why there was a lot of attention paid to that in the channel messages. But just taking this at face value, the normal Six of Pentacles is about making smart choices. There's always going to be outstretched hands, but you have to really weigh the options and decide just how much to give and how often to give. And also, more importantly, make sure that you're saving enough for you, both in time and energy and money, so that you're going to be able to grow and have some for tomorrow, have a little bit in the bank, figuratively and literally speaking. As we look at the deep past, here's your karmic message. First and foremost, don't underestimate the importance of physical health. Without health, it doesn't matter how much money you have, it doesn't matter who you're dating, what your title is, it just falls apart, right? This is the foundation upon which all else is built. This is a time to make sure that you have energy, that you feel healthy, that you're feeding your mind, your body, and your spirit with all the things that it needs to thrive, basically, okay? Some of the things that could be taking away your energy, it could be a person in your life. It could also be a job. If we look at the traditional strength card here in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, we can see a woman carefully putting her hands in the mouth of this lion, and she is controlling the situation, but at what cost? There comes a point when that sort of delicate dance, that energy that goes into getting your way, it may not be worth it. So when we're looking at the diminishing returns on certain activities and certain relationships, you may decide to cut your losses and move in a different direction, okay? The last thing is just simply not to underestimate your own power. What I love about this sort of reimagined strength card is we don't see this tug of war where one person has to dominate or win. we see partnership, true partnership. And when you are in that energy of true strength and true connection, there doesn't have to be a winner or loser. You can win together. And that's the big karmic takeaway here. In the recent past, we have the Magician. The Magician is one of the best cards for manifestation. We see the effects of the Magician, especially in the world in the 10 of Cups, but even in the Death card. New opportunities are opening up for you. However, focus might be lacking. So upright position, the Magician has one of each suit, lots of tools, lots of things in front of you, but there's a chance right now to tune out anything that isn't really connecting with you on a heart level and say, all right, this is what I need to focus on. So I showed the twos earlier, the Two of Pentacles and the Two of Cups. There are choices, a choice of heart and a choice of energy. And once you make those choices, everything starts to align. We can see that. What a beautiful illustration to show how synchronicities are just kind of flowing through your life in this moment in time. You do have to be aware, you do have to be focused. If there's anything that is taking away from your ability to concentrate, or if there's anything that just doesn't feel like it's worth your time and energy, again, because it might be exhausting, it's time to recalibrate and focus on what matters most. The Magician reminds you also that thoughts manifest, so we want to be really in the affirmative point of view. So I've talked about the power of using questions to take a negative thought and turn it into a possibility. So if someone tells you you can't, just like a little kid, why can't I? Why shouldn't I? And then you just get a little bit defiant and a little bit decisive and say, I can and I will, and here's how I can, and here's why I will. And that's it. Just get into that sort of energy of turning the negativity into a question, turning the question into a statement, and moving on. You got too many great things this month to really focus on. Some of you just moved. Some of you just began something brand new. The World card is about as major as it gets. It has the same sort of impact as the Tower, but in a very positive way. It is about outreach. It's about visibility in a business or in a professional sort of standpoint. This is like publishing, notoriety, again, outreach, and if you're working on like a podcast or a publication, all of these things are connected with this. Definitely relocation and going bigger, thinking bigger. We don't want to think in a restrictive sort of way. We want to always open it up to sort of like blue sky possibilities, okay? And that's why we see this person above the world. They're beyond the known limits. And so really allow yourself to push beyond what's expected. You can surprise yourself, you can surprise others, and you might stumble upon something that you hadn't considered before. So really keeping an open mind, and maybe even talking to people that have worldly or expansive viewpoints. That's going to help elevate you as well. Coming through is partnership, love, support. Again, it could be a little bit either intense or it could be peer pressure. Could also be just too fast for some of you. So the 10 of Cups in the upright position is exactly what we see here. A cause to celebrate, a chance for new love, new connections, positivity. In reverse though, however, this can be your friends, your family, your loved ones, trying to get you to do what they want. This is the Strength card from the past. As I said before, you have the capacity to quote unquote win or get your way, but this is exhausting trying to constantly sort of like validate why you should be where you're at. And if people can't celebrate it, can't see it, there does come a point where you don't have to fight. You don't owe them any sort of reason for why you're doing this. You are who you are. You're doing what you need to be doing. And enough is enough with all of that. Explanation is the word I was searching for. You don't owe them any sort of explanation. Just be yourself, and they can take it or they can leave it in that particular category. If you meet somebody new, they may be very keen on taking this to the next level, because we do have the Queen of Cups here. So I would say in even an existing relationship where perhaps you haven't decided maybe to get married, because this is an expanding card, this is a connecting card, this is love. There's someone who wants a little bit more from you, maybe a little bit faster than you're ready to give it. So you'll have to decide if that's what you want to. The name of the game this month is change for the better. So we have the Death card, but the crowning card was the World. So this is change to help open you up to something bigger, better, and brighter. We can see that here. There's a light at the end of this tunnel, And the skeleton is holding a skeleton key. The skeleton key can get you into anything. That's how they work. We don't really use keys anymore like this, an old-fashioned one. But in an old building, there usually was one key that could access every lock, and that was the skeleton key. That means that even if one path is closed, there's a way through or a way around. It just may require the ability for you to explore, again, a slightly different path at a slightly different time, and possibly partnering up so that you don't have to do this all alone. If you are at some end point, let's say a job ended, a relationship came to a close, you've just had an interesting experience in your health, whatever it is that got you to this moment, I only see things going in an upward position here. So it's good. It feels like you're going more expansive, and even if this feels like a setback, it's not really. The only thing that I see here, there's a couple of health and financial notes, but they're pretty minor and pretty manageable. The rest of the cards here are very empowered and powerful, especially with Strength, Knight of Pentacles, World, Magician, and Death. You can change, you can move. This is a malleable month, energetically speaking. If something feels stuck to you, we've talked about all the things that could be stuck, a relationship or a job in particular. Now is the time to say, I need something more. I'm ready for this. Are you on board? You can initiate that change. It's just a matter of if you're ready and if you're willing. In the environment, we have somebody or something that needs or wants more from you. You have the capacity to deliver if you want to. It's a question of desire here. And much like we were talking about with the Six of Pentacles, it's a choice based on what you want and what you want to do next too. So you've got to kind of weigh everything out and figure where you stand, figure out where you stand. This is also emotional sensitivity. People could be coming in and testing and pushing your buttons a little bit because they can see something seems off. So if you're feeling this fatigue in the Strength card can also lead to emotional sort of fatigue, and the two sort of create this, it's kind of like it feeds one another. It's like a loop. So take some time, deal with whatever emotional or sort of sensitivity issues that are coming up right now. It's better to do that than to wait. So maybe leaning on a friend or a therapist so that you can clear your head and clear your heart. That's going to help you get to the point where you can make a decision that's best for you. And this is what's in Hopes, Fears, and Opportunities, Lady Justice, a choice. Some of you are also deciding to take things to a legal level. So this can be marriage. It usually is not divorce when it's in the upright position. This can be a decision to finalize or make official a partnership. This can be fighting for justice in your life if there was anything that was unjust from the past. It's portending good things because it's in possibilities. There could be a Libra coming in, offering their hand in love to you as well. Whatever it is, I like the energy of justice. It's change, it's balance. You got two cards of balance. Again, I'll keep showing the traditional Six of Pentacles because I think it does a better job here. So you see the scales twice. This is going to be a chance where you can really right a wrong or create balance. And now we get to the trickiest card in the spread. It's not death. Death is good. That's change. The trickiest card in your particular spread is the outcome, and it's the Five of Pentacles. If we look at this modern interpretation, we can see a bunch of people kind of on the outside of this building wanting to look on the inside. And here's a close-up of that in the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Again, we have like a church or a temple behind them, and really it's just a matter of being willing and ready to open up the door. Sometimes we wait for someone to notice us or to see us or to reward us. And what we're seeing coming through energetically here is knowing your worth, because at its core, this is the Five of Pentacles. Low self-worth or self-esteem makes it challenging to get what you deserve. So sometimes we just have to say, you know what? Nobody ever told me that I'm worth it, but I know I am. I may not see the support around me, but I deserve it, or I'm ready to reach out for it. So I'm going to knock on that door. I'm going to open this. I'm going to use my own skeleton key and make some sort of opportunity for myself. I'm going to prove to everyone that I am worthy, that I am ready, that I am the energy that we saw at the center, which is the Knight of Pentacles. So you can create. You have the Magician energy as well. You also have the World energy. It's all good, folks, but it is a matter of overcoming this. Someone or something in your path before might have diminished your confidence, and that diminished self-worth then creates some challenges with the net worth. And we're going to get through that this month because you are worth it. Okay, this also has with it health connotations. Again, a little bit easier to see in the traditional card. We want to pay close attention to the feet. If you've been wearing your shoes too long, change them. If there's any sort of slippery surfaces around you, be mindful of that. And if you've ever had an injury before, don't overdo any sort of exercise, because sometimes, especially if it's been like a torn muscle or ligament or whatever, that's weakened, and you have to be very careful not to overdo it. That's everything there for the Five of Pentacles. Financially speaking, you want to push for a little bit more, especially since we had the Six of Pentacles crossing the center card. So don't accept less than your worth. Push for a little bit more. This is a difference of 1 here, which would be like 10%. So you have a chance to get a little more if you're willing to fight. Let's expand the forecast and look a little bit deeper into health, wealth, love, and destiny. We're going to start off with the health card. This is mind, body, and spirit. I mean, we already got some messages in the deep past, but let's see how it aligns to this oracle card. We have the ocean here. Some of you miss being closer to the water. The card is reversed. This can also be emotional sensitivity and intensity, because all of the water cards seem to be in the opposite direction here. So give yourself time to heal. Allow yourself to have some sort of an outlet when it comes to expressing your emotions, and hydrate. We can also look at this as being dehydrated. And again, maybe if you feel an affinity towards the water, making sure that you're creating some space in your life to maybe swim or take a bubble bath or go out in nature next to a stream or a lake or the ocean, and let that heal you. Let the energy of movement that's always intrinsic to those large bodies of water kind of allow your energy to start to move too. It can be a very cleansing thing. 2 final messages coming through here. For those of you that enjoy Epsom salt baths, absolutely do that, because we're getting a salty element here because we're looking at the ocean. And also just make sure that you're not overdoing it when it comes to salt intake. The strongest card here, well, the 2 strongest cards here are Death and the World. So I often have dreams where I see this sort of archetypal figure, the skeleton from Death, come through. And it's usually when I've not paid attention to something. So the Death symbol represents a dead end. It can be a wake-up call. It can be a close call, close brush with death, or with a health challenge. But what's good here is we see a breakthrough here, and we see a way out of this. It's really just the universe saying, are you ready to make the change? For some of you, it's about giving up a habit, maybe drinking too much caffeine, smoking, eating the wrong types of food, etc. Once you make the change, we see really positive growth, not just in a big way, but possibly faster than you imagined. But the first step, the most important step, is right here. You have to decide, I'm going to do this. I'm gonna make the change. That's the moment everything powerful starts to happen in your life. The block this month is emotional. And sometimes it comes through as I can't, or it won't, or it just feels like it's hard, it's difficult, and that's when you lean on others if you can, if you're ready. I talked about earlier the challenges with the Five of Pentacles, really focusing on your feet. If you've never seen a podiatrist or an orthopedic specialist for the ankle, for the foot, etc., they kind of specialize in every zone of the body, so you'll want to make sure it is just for the feet. But if there's something going on there, this is the month to take care of it, because that is the platform that you have to stand on all the time. So if there's any pain there, my heart goes out to you. I've had a broken foot before. I know how challenging. I've had a broken toe as well. It's just challenging, and it takes longer than you think, but give yourself the support that you need. And then the emotional piece is from the past. This usually has to do with parents and children, but sometimes siblings. It's basically the closest connection you have younger in your life, and that usually, again, would be parents or brothers and sisters. And so there may be a little bit of healing to be done there. The Strength card is often a maternal energy. So mothers and brothers and sisters, this is where the energy is as far as healing and getting better goes. Otherwise, I have to say I quite like what I see here. We see a cyclical shift, something new coming through. The only other thing I can pull from this catalyst is new information. So you may be seeking out a different opinion, and that's going to help kind of clarify your decision. And some of you are ready to make that decision this month. A move could be a very good thing for you as well. Changing up the environment could get you away from something where it's either toxic personalities or, like I just came through, like toxic mold. There could be something like that that you need to pay attention to. And that's everything for health, okay? Mostly about emotions, and some of you are just going to go counter to this energy of going with the flow. Last thing, because you know how I read the tower, I talk about surfing, and I'm looking now at this as being a chance to embrace change. So once you embrace change, you become an agent of change. You're no longer sort of beholden to it, and that's the really powerful thing. Any change you want in your life, be the agent of that. Let's move on to wealth, your resources, your life purpose, and your career. In the energy of wealth, here's what we've got. We have the heart guardian coming through, and it says, love and let yourself be loved. So much easier said than done. The reason that this is difficult for some of you is this. Someone might have told you in the past, you're not good enough, or you can't do this because whatever whatever that sort of projected fear or restriction was. You are going to love yourself and prove them wrong and just say, you know what? I am lovable, I am capable, and I am ready to do this. But you have to believe it for me to believe it. And that's going to be the biggest sort of homework assignment this month, is just really getting to a place where you feel good about yourself and you're ready to show others that you feel that way, and kind of like open up the abundance, the flow of abundance by doing so. All right, let's take a look at 3 categories here. Those that are working. This includes, by the way, entrepreneurs, those who are seeking work, and then students and retirees. For those that are working right now, the world is such a potent card and an important card as well. This is showing me right now that even if there's a feeling of being stuck, it may simply be you reaching out and saying, I want to go for this opportunity. If you want to move or if you want to travel, this is the month to speak up. This represents all of that. If you don't want it, also speak up and say you need something different. This is about redefining what you need, what you want, what is right for you. Again, it's harder to see in this particular illustration, but the 6 of Pentacles and the Justice card both hold the scales. So this isn't a sort of my way or the highway month on either side of the fence. I think the key to negotiation is meeting somewhere in the middle. And maybe if they're requesting that you travel or move, you could say, how much of this can be done here, or can we diminish it? Again, if you don't want to do it, or reduce it rather, so that you're not feeling that sense of exhaustion. And you can even say that things have changed, priorities have shifted. Maybe some of you have started a family or just gotten married and you want to have a little bit more time with that family. State your intentions, be reasonable, encourage the same from the other party. You do have a very, very good card for winning a negotiation or argument here. Not just that, but justice as well. So you have a chance here to really get what you want. But it is a matter of how far you want to go for that. And that was something we talked about all the way back at the beginning. This night is a little passive, waiting for things to come. And it's really important to push beyond that passivity and just sort of say, or that passiveness rather, and just say, I need to talk about this. Are you ready? Are you willing? What can we do? Open up the conversation. Bringing it back for a moment to your catalyst here, it says, love and let yourself be loved. Talk about what it is that really moves you. What is your passion? What is your dream? What is your desire? On a recent reading, I talked about the importance of not keeping wishes secret. Like we are taught to not share our birthday wish. When it comes to your career and important sort of movements in your life, you do want to speak it into existence. What I see here are people that are ready to celebrate and support you. What I see here is passion that some of you may be kind of suppressing. And this is a chance to really embrace it and go with the flow here of what it is your heart wants to do, okay? Now, somebody scorned me once in the comments saying, you shouldn't encourage people to do what they want to do. It doesn't always work out. But sometimes it does, and this is not just about jumping head first. It is about weighing out the opportunities, and you do deserve a chance to go after your dreams. So I feel like that person might be experiencing some of the echoes of this. A teacher, a family member, somebody in your life saying, be practical, only do what's expected. I'm here, if anything else, just to open you up to all the different doors that can open up. I'm not going to close them for you. There's plenty of people out there that will do that. Open your mind, open your heart, do the homework yourself and decide if you're ready, if you have the resources. but I see this month as one where you can really break through with both the World card and the Death card. And if somebody says no, if you're in a situation where you're going through a layoff, because it can represent that, we don't want to necessarily go to the energy of the Five of Pentacles, which is feeling like you're on the outside looking in. I really want you to connect with the people that you love and know that I saw at least one opportunity to get somewhere else through the help of a friend. And this is really leading us into those that are looking. But before I go there, because I said I was going to mention entrepreneurs, here's what I see for entrepreneurs. It is a really, really important time for you to network. Go to events, special events, conferences, etc. Focus on your social media, the World card representing how you're putting yourself out there. This is true for everybody, but especially entrepreneurs, because you really want to let people know if there's a new product or service that you have to offer, like put it out there with a splash. It feels like marketing is a big takeaway here. And really get sort of like scrutinize your legal contracts a bit, because it feels like there may be over or underpayment going on a vendor level. Okay, switching this over to job seekers. Here's what I see. You are worthy, you are ready. I feel like, as I was saying, a job opportunity could just be a phone call or text away, but it requires having a conversation with a friend or family member, maybe someone you wouldn't normally go to. But if you know someone that has an in or a connection, this is the time to go for that. Now, as I said, there may be another opportunity that opens up after you've accepted that. If that person put their kind of neck on the line for you, you kind of owe it to them to see that job that they got you through. This was specifically what I picked up in dreams and meditation, just so that you can maintain that relationship. And this other opportunity wasn't necessarily better. I got that they were almost equal, so why not maintain the relationship and see this opportunity to the finish line? Other things that I'm seeing here, you may decide to downsize. That's actually what I'm seeing with this. Closing a door on something that didn't make sense, creating better balance by reducing your monthly payment. So if you were renting, possibly getting a smaller space, or locating to a different geographical location with a smaller sort of money footprint, cheaper rent, for instance, or cheaper mortgages. Other things that I'm seeing here in the spread for those of you that are job seeking, just to push back on peer pressure. And again, you don't owe anyone an explanation if you're going in a different path. It is an emotionally sensitive time. Many of you are just dealing with a lot right now. So any help or support you can get from others, it's going to help you through this period. If you're asking me how long, remember what we talked about at the beginning, lots of twos. Twos in the Two of Cups and the Two of Pentacles. We're probably looking at a 2-week period here. So I think it's important to take that first opportunity when it comes through. But one thing you want to really focus on is not accepting less than your worth. Five of Pentacles is met at the center here with the Six of Pentacles, the traditional card showing it a little bit better. This is getting just a little bit more than you need so that you can pay bills off, so that you can save, so that you're not just at the break-even point. One of the opportunities, this is a good deciding factor. If you have them both in front of you and one isn't paying enough, that is the one to push to the side. You've got to take something that's giving you your worth, especially if you're on that sort of rebounding or recovering energy when we're looking at your finances, okay? Again, change of geography can help, and reaching out to your existing network can also help here. But some of you also want to pivot and do something entirely new, and I'm behind that as well. For those of you that are students, some of you just finished a program, and you're trying to figure out like what's next. I think it's also important while you're a student to enjoy student life. That's the Ten of Cups. Some of you may be pursuing a future in law. Justice is coming through loud and clear. I think the main thing here when we're looking at your time and your energy, you're a little bit overextended. I got that in my dreams with the Two of Pentacles. We have two balance cards here. I feel like it's an important time to choose what matters and push the other stuff, whether it's a class, an elective, an activity, push it to the side until you're kind of like on solid ground. Definitely have a chat with your financial aid connection at school. The Five of Pentacles can show the stress that this puts on you financially. So looking at any sort of scholarship, fellowship, whatever opportunities to kind of like lighten the load, that's really important too. Okay. And now we'll move on to retirees. Well, first of all, always I like to congratulate retirees for getting to that point. I think the one thing you really want to focus on this month is your health. And this can show diminished sort of like energy, and this can also be aches and pains. And there could also be some healing opportunities, not just in your body, but with your family. So emotional healing, familial healing, and health. These are the most important things when you're retired, because that's going to give you what you need to do the traveling that many of you are thinking about. Some of you are also kind of lighting up creatively, but let's put those two things to the side and focus on health first. Spiritual growth is definitely coming through as well. The most important thing here is just finding better balance, though. Some of you might just be overextended, and it's really important to do what matters most in your retirement. This is your period of time to really just thrive. So meeting new people, expanding your horizons, going back to school if you want to, having a creative sort of outlet, dealing with what your heart wants, all of these things loud and clear for retirees. Let's go ahead now and move on to love and relationships. The oracle card here is Baba Yaga, and it says authenticity. Not the most fun illustration on this particular card, but nonetheless, when we're looking at someone inauthentic, because the card was reversed, they're showing up in a way that is probably not exactly what you expected. The moon, the Seven of Swords, possibly even the devil. So someone comes through and the mask is revealed this month. Accept that mask. Don't try to change someone when they show their true colors. That's the big takeaway that I get when I look at that. And it's not always easy, but it is important. Now, it can be positive. Someone could be showing that they love you. They could be showing that they're kinder than you thought, but they could also be showing the reverse. And whatever that truth is, embrace it when it does come through. Let's break this down into three major categories: those in a relationship, looking for love, or happily single. If you're in a relationship, here's what I see. For many of you, a big focus is on your expanded and extended family. So this could be your parents, your mother or father-in-law, your grandparents. This can also be even just like distant relatives and second and third cousins. I just see a lot of people coming into the mix here. And for some of you, this throws you out of balance. It's sort of like, how are we going to spend extra time? How does this person fit in? Here's the cool thing, like in a very solid relationship, the two of you decide how and where these people kind of factor in. And ideally, you should have each other's backs first and foremost. And if someone that's nosy, an aunt, a sister, or a mother, for instance, because we have divine feminine energy, they come in and they try to insert themselves, it's up to the partner to make sure that the boundaries are kept, because you, as the non-blood relative, you don't want to kind of cause more trouble. They need to come in and say, stop it, this isn't how it works, and really kind of enforce the boundaries. So there's a chance for that in a healthy relationship. There's also just kind of this balance of power. Two balance cards plus the one that I intuited with the Two of Pentacles. So division of responsibility, kind of like leaning on one another, not feeling like you are underappreciated. So I think lead by example here, show the partner, that you appreciate their time and energy, that they're very seen. And if there's anything going on where you don't feel the support, speak up. Just say, I really need to count on you for this. Can I count on you? And it's just deciding to be there, to do the work, to create the balance. And if you do that, I see growth. So the biggest challenge in existing relationships is just change. One partner's changing, the other one may be a little bit uncomfortable with the change. And hey, that's part of growth. I mean, you're either going to go bigger and walk that path of change together, or you may make a decision that, you just don't recognize who that person's become. I really think it's possible to grow together and to move with the change. So let's embrace that. As I said, there could be, for some of you, a death or a significant change, a loss or movement. So loss of a job, retirement, there could be a birth or a death, major shifts, a new move. All of these things can create a stress or a fracture in a relationship, and you just want to be patient with each other and move through this. If you can move through this, you can face any challenge in your lives. For those of you that are looking for love, We have someone that might be from a different part of the world, potentially a Libra, or we have water sign that's already around you. So this would be someone coming in. This is someone that's already there. This could be a Cancer, Scorpio, or Pisces that you know, or a Libra that you've never met before. These are the presenting energies. We have past life karma connected with all of this. So this is someone who you meet them and you just feel this like undescribable connection. You're just somehow drawn to them, and it's probably because of past karma. The past karma has to do with control, also like parental themes. So as weird as it is, sometimes we end up like it could be a sibling or a parent or someone that we were a mentor for, and then in this lifetime it's just a different relationship altogether. What we want to walk away from is the feeling that you need to mother or father that person, and again, control themes. We want to be on this even kilter here that we see in the Strength card, okay? Deep karma. There could also be a Leo coming through. So I see 3 people for those of you that are looking. Someone in the deep past that really needs to stay in the deep past. Someone in the environment that wants a little bit more than you can give them. And someone that's coming in that seems just right. So if it's not a Libra, it's just someone that really has their life together. The personality type for Justice is just someone who's super fair, who seems to have their life in proper balance, and would be a great partner. I feel like this is someone who can bring balance to you as well. Even though we don't want to seek like a codependency sort of thing, sometimes it's just someone who can bring out the best in you. And I can see that in this energy as well. I think the things to focus on this month in particular, mending your health, mending your finances, really focusing on just feeling confident. That is going to pull this energy here that we see in either of these 2 people through just a little bit faster. A trip, you might meet someone while traveling as well, okay? And that's everything for those that are looking. If you're happily single, a lot of what we talked about with retirees is shining through for you. So it's a time to explore new things, open your mind. This is collegiate sometimes, like deciding to learn something new to expand consciousness, especially since this is in the crowning position. It's also a chance for you to expand your network. You may not be looking to do it, but it can bring so many positive things. New job opportunities, new ideas, new resources. So this is a time to get out there and really socialize. And in doing so, I think you're going to create better balance in your life as well. Okay, let's look at your destiny card and see what's coming forth here. So we have the ring. This can be a promise. This can be a proposal for some of you. So if you're in a long-term relationship, this is basically a chance to make it official. This could be signing on the dotted line for any sort of business or entrepreneurial energy. And this is also you just deciding what it is that you want to commit to, making up your mind. So if it is just saying, I decide that I want this, you're stating that, making that contract with yourself, and it's the same as putting a ring on someone's finger. You're going to basically do what you can to make that promise come to fruition. Let's go ahead and go a little bit deeper into the energies of Sun, Rising, and Moon, and then we'll take a look at your final question after that. Okay, so first things first, Sun, Rising, and Moon. Sun, Rising, and Moon. Okay, we got some good stuff. Sun sign first. We have the Page of Wands. And I'm thinking of that old Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks song where she's talking about lightning striking maybe once, maybe twice. I feel like some of you are getting that second time around. There's a chance for you to do something that you didn't do before because on a heart and soul level, you're finally ready to commit. And sometimes lightning can strike a second time. And that's what this is. Page of Wands. This is opening your mind up to doing something and not letting people come and cloud your vision. This person's using all of that friction, all of that energy to their benefit, and they're saying, why can't I? We were talking about this. Clear the clouds, get crystal clear, and know that sometimes you do get a second chance, and now's the time to do that. Pages are great at communicating. You should be able to demonstrate, communicate, and convey your ideas very, very well. Use images and body language. So you don't always have to use communication in a verbal way. It can also be, painting a picture, using your own sort of your own body and your own, even intonation if we are talking about speaking. It's everything but the words themselves, using all of those other forms of communication to your benefit. Okay? A really powerful month, really positive, and we see the clouds starting to open up and clear, and that's good stuff indeed. Moving on to rising and ascendant, the sun in reverse. So this is basically an encouragement for you to focus on yourself. Personal development takes the foreground and the sort of main focus here. It's also about letting go. This is normally a card of birthing. We would see a baby on this card riding on a horse. But in this particular card, we're seeing the connection with the solar plexus and the sun, and it's saying, I've been holding on to something too long, and it's taking away some of my power, some of my energy. So I'm just going to let it go. I'm going to let it go and allow my mind to open up. As I'm saying that, I can feel an awakening right at the top of my crown chakra. So when you just decide enough is enough, then all of a sudden you start to open up to the new paths that are starting to present themselves to you. Ask for something if you need it, take care of yourself, and focus on personal development. Moving on to moon sign, I talked about all of these new paths. We can see it here. This is a really cool Four of Wands because we see you at an intersection, and then we have the Four Wands in the sort of corners. So normally this is a place where you're going to meet someone. So by choosing a new path, by taking a different turn in the road, you could meet a friend, a teacher, a lover, a partner, someone great. But they're not there. They're going to come there because you're going on your path. They're just around the corner. So this is really an encouragement for you not to wait for someone, but to do something because it feels right. And in doing so, I see a new connection coming for you. Of course, we can just take it at face value. This can be marriage. This can be a contract being signed. This is a very firm card for any sort of foundational energy that you want to put forth this month. Starting a business, starting a relationship, signing a contract, very favorable energy. Pick your partner well. You might be with them for a while, but it feels like it's a very, very good beginning indeed for any kind of partnership. Now it's your chance to ask a question that I've yet to have answered here. It can be anything that you need clarity on. So go ahead and formulate that question. I'll see what Spirit has to say. Three of Pentacles, it's an emphatic yes. This is one of the best cards for mastering anything in your life. So for those of you that want to know, can I go back to school? Should I take this class? Am I going to learn and sort of be very, very good at whatever it is I'm doing? The Three of Pentacles is saying whatever work you put in, there's a return on it. This is the writing and publishing card, and it's coupled with the card of distribution. So first of all, any inventors or any kind of engineers out there, get a patent for whatever you're working on because it has a chance of being widely distributed. But for everyone else, write it down, express yourself. You really use the written form of communication here to convey your thoughts. People are interested in what you have to say. This can be different types of sort of writing. It does not have to just be writing in a fiction sense. For those of you that are in the in school or in the medical field, it can be getting published in a journal, an educational journal. It can be a curriculum. It can be technical writing. Basically, anything that you want to put down into writing, very, very positive. And finally, again, you just have a chance to learn something and really, really master that skill. Okay? Great stuff overall. As a yes/no card, it's a yes, but it's saying make a commitment, sign on the dotted line. Stay accountable and keep your promises on that. All right? That's everything, folks. If you enjoyed this, I hope you did. Please hit like and subscribe. It helps the channel. Leave a comment as well. Let me know what you're going through, what new opportunities, what new changes you might be experiencing, and how you're feeling about all of that. If you'd like to get updates, follow me on social media. It's always my full name, Nicholas Ashbaugh, on all major platforms. You can always go to my website if you need any of those links. They're also on the main channel page here. If you want to show love and support, do it through super stickers, super chat, just general comments as well, and memberships. All of that right here on YouTube. Remember, by the way, I don't offer private readings and I don't use direct messages to ask for products or services. So if anyone's doing that, block and report. That, my friends, is everything. Thank you for your time. Thanks for just hanging out here with me and for being the absolute best part of what I do here on YouTube. I wouldn't be here without your love, your support, and your enthusiasm. Thanks for being you. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.